Hello, you're listening to Count Richard von Coudenhove Kalergi. Today is the 25th of May and it is 1 year since I've made my first videos which are my personal protests of non-consent, of thoughts and observations which are my own. I would like to start by saying that I was inspired by the work of others such as Orlet, the Donnan Critiqued and Gran Torino to make my videos, and as of today have over 345 subscribers. Some of my subscribers who I have met are Critiqued, Emmanuel Godson, Aidan Fletcher, Ellie Green, John Mitchell, Paul Kay, Ger Reddy, Dick Head, Conan Mack, Catherine O'Connell, Green Pill, Irish Fenian, Jay Cahill, James Stevens, Irish Rose, On 4, to name just a few. To name those that I can remember, I would also like to thank all my subscribers whose comment on my videos I look forward to reading and replying to, and I appreciate the comments from regular commentators such as Orlet, Saul, Patsy Connaughton, Downswing Player, Pete 2, Dire Wolf, Pádraig Flanagan, Solid Smuts, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Boyle Sweets Returns, Huge Jasshole, Robbie G, Lugs Lamfada, KT Lennon, Walter Samuels and Himmelreich. Their contributions are greatly appreciated, and it is nice to see other commentators such as Paul Kay, who's done some lovely drone footage, Dire Wolf, who is a daily poster, as is Saul, Emmanuel Godson, who's done some lovely videos about his art, and I look forward to attending his exhibition on Friday the 31st of May. Aidan Fletcher has also posted videos, Green Pill, Irish Fenian, all doing their bit, and it is important that like-minded people cooperate and support each other in this information war on all truth seekers that want to see a return to an Ireland of normality and common sense. My first video was on the 25th of May last year, a day that the abortion referendum was held and was unfortunately passed, even though the majority of people I met voted no. The vision of people celebrating in the courtyard of Dublin Castle the following day, a centre of imperialist power where many Irish men and women entered alive as prisoners only to end up dead, including Dick McKee and Peadar Clancy, beaten to death during the War of Independence. Remembered in two Dublin Army barracks, one now Clancy Barracks turned into an apartment complex. Now a scene that showed people celebrating the right to kill the unborn child, best summed up by a woman I met on one of the marches who said that this was an example of toxic femininity. With this decision, along with others, has, in my opinion, as Edmund Burke described it in the 18th century, as the pact of generations, a pact that ran through society from the dead, the living and the yet born, which made Ireland a special place, a pact that I believe has now been broken. The 25th of May also saw the arrest and jailing within a 5-hour period of political activist Tommy Robinson in the UK for recording outside a courthouse involving the handing down of jail sentences to Pakistani men who had already been found guilty of child grooming offences. Author of 2 books, Enemy of the State and Muhammad's Quran, and founder member of the English Defence League, which he left after it took a direction that he did not agree with, to take up a job with a Canadian media group called Rebel Media as a street reporter. He served 2 months in jail. Who would have thought that 1 year later he would be running as an MEP for the north of England, despite the establishment doing everything they can to interfere with his campaign. Despite numerous assaults and milkshakes being thrown over him, his popularity is evident in his videos. I can't wait to see him give a speech in the European Parliament. Jean-Claude Juncker's sciatica looks as if it'll get a whole lot worse. I hope that Gemma O'Doherty, Herman Kelly, Peter Casey, James Miller, Theresa Heaney and Professor Dolores Cahill are successful in their campaigns. Mr. Robinson has also stated he will donate all his salary to charities dealing with child abuse. I placed a bet with Paddy Power on Thursday, getting Gemma at 100 to 1 odds and Tommy Robinson at 6 to 5. How about that? Gemma's done phenomenal work in trying to wake up people to the realities of what's actually going on in this country, and I hope the hard work and dedication put into it will be rewarded tomorrow. The issues surrounding migration are still the biggest problems facing Europe. the draw and strain it places on economies with regard to welfare, health and housing. The issue of migrant crime is a topic that European countries have been very reluctant to discuss. From 2005 onwards, Sweden has refused to identify the country of origin of offenders. Migrant crime has been a topic I have featured in my videos as a warning of what will happen if we don't learn from the mistakes of other European countries. We seem to be the slowest child in the class when it comes to reacting to migration, and we have the greatest natural defence around us, which is the sea. In Holland, the Dutch migration minister has resigned after coming under fire over how crimes committed by asylum seekers, such as sexual assault and murder, being described separately in their own category as others, even though shoplifting and robbery had their own category. He took responsibility for not correctly reporting crimes and offered his resignation. Omitted cases included 79 alleged sexual assaults, 51 serious assaults, and 31 cases of attempted murder or manslaughter. Statistics showed that asylum seekers from safe countries such as Morocco and Algeria were suspects in half of all the 4,600 incidents recorded in the report. In Germany, the number of closed murder cases involving non-Germans, but notably not mentioned foreign-born with German citizenship, has increased by 33% in 1 year. Still in Germany, a document by the Finance Ministry has revealed that the German government has spent €23 billion on asylum seekers in 2018, an increase of 11% on the previous year, with the ADF slamming this report, describing the spending as, quote, a costly welcome party at the expense of the citizens. Merkel is still saying that, quote, the economic and social viability of our country depends on the successful management of these challenges. Viktor Orban said in response to, quote, Europe is for Europeans and needs leaders to defend it. Migration should be stopped, not organised. This country has not been immune to migrant crime during the last year, with 4 Pakistani taxi drivers charged with the rape of a passenger, Nigerian gangs involved with invoice fraud that has stolen over €20 million using over 300 different bank accounts, and remember Kevin Sharkey when he mentioned knife crime. And I have it on good authority that the young Muslim boy stabbed to death in Churchtown was stabbed to death by a 15-year-old African whose father has been charged with a serious assault on a guard with a metal baseball bat in a raid on a house in Ballyogan that needed the emergency response unit to be called in. It's also been an interesting year for me, with being on the Joe Duffy show twice and the Niall Boylan show on quite a few times, and I suppose I have 2 events that are special to me. One was the appearance on a live stream with the Don and Critiqued for about 1 hour, which I really enjoyed and got to discuss why I chose my name. I went looking for that stream the other day and can't seem to find it. I hope it's still there somewhere. The next event was to get Simon Coveney to talk about Ireland signing the Global Compact on Migration in Marrakesh, where he admitted that he believed that it was the right thing for Ireland to do, even though about 13 different European countries didn't, and that he said that he was a migration liberal and believed that the population of Ireland would increase by 1 million people by 2040, 500,000 from outside the EU, and that this would be a good thing. So here was Minister Bilderberg talking about changing the demographics of this state without a referendum. The sad thing was that the applause in the packed room was for his answer rather than my question. The recording I made was posted very kindly by Orlet and had thousands of views within hours. Can you imagine my surprise while listening to Stefan Molyneux's video called Ireland 2040? After 46 minutes he mentioned my recording from the Goat Grill. That video had over 265,000 views before it was removed from YouTube in Ireland. The message that I took from this is that we all, in our own way, at the right place and time, can affect change. This is the true power of individuals within each one of us has, at the right moment, can make a difference. I also got to challenge Josepha Madigan on the divorce referendum regarding the recognising of non-EU divorces. I asked her then, does this country now recognise the result of Sharia courts? Also, if you recognise divorce, therefore do you not recognise marriage? What may appear right now may provide loopholes for otherwise good intentions. The problems, and I also mentioned the problems Jeremy was having with child brides and family reunifications with adult husbands. Can these people not see further than the here and now? I also got to ask a question at the Dublin MEP conference regarding the politicising of weather by people who are not climate experts. In conclusion, the election results for the council seats should give an overwhelming support for Greens. What on earth is going on? What is wrong with people? We have a housing crisis, a health crisis, a banking debt where this country took on 42% of the banking debt of Europe, and we have now voted for more of this. Does the Céad Míle Fáilte have to be so far extended that it results in the cultural and demographic suicide of this Irish nation in favour of a society run by moral inversion? The only good thing that came about today was the news that Malawin spoofer didn't get a seat, and now please deport her. I'd just like to add a couple of final comments that this country, if you think from the 6th century onwards, with the monks living out in Skellig Michael on a height twice the height of the Dublin Spire, clinging to rocks like limpets, through the round towers of Glendalough and Ardmore, this country was a beacon of hope to Christian Europe, and now we must stop it from being abused by the globalists and return it to its proper rightful place amongst the nations of the free world and be a beacon of hope to other countries. And remember, the first shots of the collapse of the British Empire started in O'Connell Street in 1916, and let us take back a country from the grips of these globalists. Otherwise, we may have yet again be summoned to her flag. Well, thanks for listening. My thoughts are your own. Good night and good luck.